Hello, how are you today? As you can see, we've had a bit of a change of venue because I've been really busy, so this is later in the day. So we're inside, as you can see, in my kitchen. I wanted to talk to you a bit today, a little bit more about Arthur Brooks, the Harvard professor who teaches leadership and happiness that I spoke about yesterday. The next bit that he was talking about, a component of happiness, is satisfaction. And satisfaction, as it pertains to happiness, is defined as the joy you feel after a struggle. I was really interested in that. At the same time, or very soon afterwards, somebody asked me, if you're helping people, that comes from love, doesn't it, not fear? And that's an interesting question. On the surface, it appears to be so. If you're helping somebody because you want to help them improve their lives, or because it makes you feel good to help people, or just because you're feeling abundant and you want to share, that's great. But if you're helping them because you can't bear to see them sad or angry or upset, that's coming from fear. And if it's coming from any anxiety, parents do this particularly, but we all do, reach out a hand to help somebody that they're struggling with. Now, the only exceptions to this for me are the elderly, babies, and other vulnerable people who really can't do things for themselves. Then we just do it. Don't even think about it. What I'm really talking about is when a parent's still paying a person's rent and they're well into their 50s, although sometimes that happens too. We're well into their 20s, 30s, and the parents are still paying the rent for them because they don't want to see them out on the streets. Trust me, your kids aren't going to end up on the streets. Or when somebody constantly cuts up food for somebody who's perfectly capable of cutting it out for themselves. Sometimes, I don't know, helping your kid put their socks on when they're old enough to do it for themselves. I saw a programme about smother mothers, and this woman was still getting a 13-year-old dressed in the mornings. Not appropriate. Let them struggle. Sometimes we have to struggle so that we can feel the joy and satisfaction that we get when we get over the struggle. So sometimes to stand back and let somebody struggle is an act of love. So it's not all the same thing, isn't always an act is coming from love or it's coming from fear. A parent may shout at a child sometimes because they don't want them to step in the road. That's a tricky one. It's both love and fear. You don't want them to get run over, but if there's a car coming, it's an act of love. But shouting at them at another time may not be appropriate. So what gives it away, if we're coming from love or fear, is how we feel inside. And it's pretty much like this. Someone explained it to me like this, and it was just perfect. Fear makes you feel like this, and love makes you feel like this. So just ask yourself before you do something for somebody else, am I depriving them of a struggle from which they may see joy? Or am I genuinely helping them because that's what they need right now? That's it. Are we coming from love or fear? And you know what we want? More love, less fear. See you tomorrow.